Hey students, it's Mrs. T, and I am with you today to talk about our second unit assignment or project, whatever you would like to call it, in our social problems class. I learned from the start, stop, and continue quiz that the word project might trigger some of you, and you might be thinking that it's this huge ordeal or this massive undertaking, and so I'm going to change the name of that in the next time I publish a syllabus. I'm going to change the name of it to a unit assignment instead. But anyway, we're about to do our second one in social problems class, second of four, and we're going to do another discussion board, and we're going to use the Marxist view on the nuclear family article again, but we're going to flip the timeline and look at the nursing home system in the United States to examine it to see if it maybe meets the, should I say, prerequisites, the qualifications, whatever word you want to plug in there. Maybe it meets the qualifications, the nursing home system does, for what he was proposing should happen with newborns and children in their lives instead of having that nuclear family. Because the nursing home system in the United States, of course, takes a family member out of the home. About 60 years ago or so, 80 years ago or so, certainly, elderly folks simply stayed in the home with us, and we cared for them, and they cared for us, and it was a give and take in the home until they died. And then whatever the person had accumulated in their lifetime, whatever their assets were, whether they were wealthy or impoverished, even impoverished people have assets from, I got an iron skillet that I just cherish from my grandmother who had dirt floors in her house for most of her life. So there are assets from an iron skillet to a 401k or a retirement plan, and anything else in between, stocks and bonds and, trust accounts and all these kinds of things, anywhere in between. My grandma with her bare feet on dirt floors in her house up to people like Elon Musk, God bless them all. But the nursing home system in the United States is it fits the Marxist model that you read about for the nuclear family and getting rid of capitalism, how to get rid of capitalism and inheritance and the differences between wealth and poverty, because the nursing home system in the United States requires that you either pay exorbitant amounts. It depends on where you are, of course, the cost of living. But usually it's around $11,000. When my husband's aunt needed to go into care, her children opted to put her into a nursing home and had to pay out of pocket because she owned things like a home, she owned things like a lake house, she owned things that of value like jewelry and things that most of us, many of us, don't have the opportunity to accumulate in our lives, but she did, and so her children opted to put her in and pay for that nursing home care. It was 11,000 or 13,000, somewhere in that range. I mean, that's a big deal. A month. That's not a year, that's a month. And so most of us can't do that. So most of us have to qualify for Medicaid or Medicare in order to pay for it. And of course, those are programs through the federal government and the state government to pay for medical expenses. And oftentimes when an elderly person has accumulated, a modest house, my husband's aunt was rather wealthy, but when someone has accumulated, modest things, a car and a modest two-bedroom house in a, working class neighborhood or something like this, these things have to be sold or have to be used as payment for nursing care until Medicaid can kick in, and you don't, you would not keep any of your Social Security money, and you wouldn't keep any of your stipend money if you had, a retirement account or something paying you. The payment for the nursing home would come out of that first, and then Medicaid and Medicare would pick up the rest of it, and then after everything was gone, all of your assets were gone, leaving you at a baseline with everybody else in the nursing home, which is what Marx wants. Marx wants, everybody to be equal. There would be a ruling class and everybody else. And so, so the nursing home is a method to eliminate the wealth that you would collect, even if it's just that iron skillet, which I cherish more for the sentimental love attachment I have to it than it's worth. You see them in a thrift shop for $12, $20, sometimes. And so regardless of what it might be that you could inherit, the system now in the last 60 years, the trend has been we don't take care of mama and papa and grandma and grandpa in our house. That's what the state, meaning the government unit, the state does that. Now, I don't mean that states own nursing homes. We still have that element of capitalism where private systems can own nursing homes, but they collect insurance money. Medicare and Medicaid are insurance, workman's comp, these kinds of things are insurance programs that pay for medical care. And we see in this country elder care as being medical care. Does somebody need help with cutting their toenails, or does somebody need help with shampooing or shaving or bathing or something like that? We define that as a medical need. And so most of us in this culture have been reared with the idea that moms and dads do a lot for their kids, but when the kids are adults and moms and dads need it, we don't do it for them. We put them in a nursing home most often. That's not how it works for everybody, but that's a very common idea of what we should do with our elders. And so, so it's not unusual, and it's not a criticism at all. That's the way that we do it. But that does eliminate the opportunity for you and for me to increase our social position in terms of wealth and holdings and assets. It eliminates our ability to be able to increase our position within the social stratification system, and then give our higher level that we got from our parents who were here, give our higher level to our children, and they would have a higher level to give to their children. That's how capitalism would work, that Marx was complaining about, Marx was suggesting we get rid of. And the nursing home system is one step toward getting rid of that capitalistic and inheritance kind of system for the common folk like you and me. It doesn't get rid of capitalism because there's people making a lot of profit off of owning nursing homes and laundry services and food services and all this kind of stuff that that gets paid through that. But this is very much the way that Marx was suggesting we rear children, that there would be homes for people who were born in a certain year, and everybody born in a certain year in a certain place would have workers that helped them. Now, if some of you think of nursing homes as being, oh, Lulu's gonna kill something. Kill him, Lulu. If some of you think of nursing homes as being terrible places that are depressing or whatever, of course, there's a complaint that you could have with capitalism. Look at her, she's a mess. She rolled in the dirt this morning. So, Lulu, you bad dog. Go sick him, Lulu. Go kill. Anyway, she loves to kill. Not really, but anyway. So yeah, if you think of the nursing home kind of atmosphere as being very drab and depressing and stuff like this, probably it wouldn't be that way if we didn't have the profit margin that people were interested in. Certainly private nursing homes, like the one that my husband's aunt was in, was not like that at all. Like it had all the amenities of home, and you could bring your stuff with you, and you could have, a maid live in with you if you wanted. Private people, your friends and family could still come and visit and this kind of thing. And so that's probably more what it would be like if we had houses that took all the kids who were born at a certain time and raised them with people who were paid to do it. And so that's kind of where some of you caught on to that when you were reading the Marxist ideas about nuclear family for the first discussion board. But keep in mind that this nursing home activity that we're doing is kind of like coming full circle to the other end of life and having the same suggestion that Marx had about the nuclear family and getting rid of capitalism, the same suggestion, but just later in life. And so you're going to read or refer to that article again, but there's also just a short video that I included, and you can use it or look up a different video, look up 2 or 3 videos if you want to. There's a short video that I curated for you from an attorney it's like a how-to video, how to protect your assets from the nursing home system. So for people, I guess he's aiming at people like my age, who are toward the end of their career and are probably going to retire soon, and have assets like a house or something that maybe they might want to protect so children can inherit it. And so he's talking about some kind of legal arrangements that if you have the means, if you can pay an attorney to arrange all these things for you, I have no idea how much it costs to pay an attorney to do that, but if you can, then supposedly, I don't know personally, but supposedly you can protect your assets from the nursing home system so that you still get long-term care if you should need it, but people who are supposed to inherit, there's my air quotes, supposed to inherit whatever you've accumulated can have it. And so I curated this video from an attorney who's explaining the basics, the very basics of that. But, this is just getting us to think along these mindsets. We're looking at population and aging this week, and we've looked at social stratification in weeks before, and we looked at the nuclear family and all of these different kinds of things, and so they're all connected. Don't think of social problems and social issues as existing in separate bins, like in your kitchen you have flour and sugar and tea and coffee, and don't think of it that way. They're all mixed together. Take the flour and the sugar and the tea and the coffee and dump them into a bowl and mix them all up, because all of these social problems touch each other and are influenced by each other. And so, yeah, put those thinking caps on and give me some suggestions. The questions are in the discussion board folder, and I hope that you will give it some serious thought and respond to each other like you did last time. Just follow the rules that are follow the instructions that are in the discussion board project 2. I'm calling it project 2 right now because that's what it says in the syllabus. It's a unit assignment. It's another 100-point activity. And so text me with questions. I look forward to reading what you think about this and your ideas for modification, or leave it. Is it perfect the way it is? What should happen? And and so I'll be responding to you all as you post your stuff, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye.